Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Emergent Gamer Podcast, episode 282, Rise of the Stonk Market. I'm one of your hosts, Trip Zero. I'm here with Neo Ayoshi.
Hey, how you doing?
And Felix Hergood.
Hey, what's up?
And Lock and Key.
What's going on, everybody?
Guys, how you doing, man? It's been a pretty insane week with all this trading overlapping with our video game world. So we're definitely going to get into some of that. Before we really dive in, of course, right now, stop whatever you're doing and go to YouTube and search the Emergent Gamer Podcast and hit the subscribe button and the little bell and all that fun shit you see on the videos. We're so close to 100. And when we do that, we can give you a URL that's much easier than go here and type. So just like do that so we can get over that hump and give you guys a way easier way to do this and find our stuff in the future. So personally, guys, before we dive into this this topic, this stock market revolution that's overlapping with our game world, we usually chat about what we've been up to, what we've been doing. I've been doing, Stardew Valley, but nothing else is new and different with that. Just continuing on my year one challenge of finishing the town's community center and reinvigorating everyone's lives within the first year on the new update. And it's been great, man. I'm pretty much set up for success once winter rolls around. So we big chilling. It's a lot of fun. Other than that, I got nothing. I haven't even touched Destiny in like a week or two.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't played a video game in how many weeks has it been? Three weeks at this
Probably
point.
about
Yeah. I moved into a new house, so I'm on my laptop and
Nice.
I'm sitting in my dining room surrounded by boxes.
Well, congrats on that, man. That's a huge milestone.
Thank you. So hopefully soon I'll have a gaming spot set up for myself, and I'll be back doing something.
Mm-hmm.
For all you listening on audio, Locke is our longtime caller, part-time listener.
It does sound like you're calling in a little bit.
He's
Does
phoning
it?
in.
Does it?
He's phoning in a little bit today.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you use AirPods as your microphone and not a sweet microphone like everybody else.
It's
Here's-
not bad, but
No.
But in contrast to your, like, you spent so much time on your audio on your previous setup, and like you could tell
Right.
at the end,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
This-
well, it is what it is. Here we are.
It is what it is. It's fine.
This is no different than like thousands of fucking TV personalities who just sat in their fucking, in their saunas and in their hot tubs and like in their fucking wherever, just like wearing AirPods and doing like some kind of like charity event or anything.
Yeah. Did you watch the NFL draft like back in the spring, Felix?
No,
At all? That was just a parade of awful audio quality as every clown in the world hopped on a video call. I was like, thanks for the opportunity, appreciate it. Or like, over to Roger Goodell's house on his AirPods or whatever. It was just a fucking mess, dude.
Locke's quality right now is the exact quality that Josh Gad has for Reunited Apart, which is these specials he does where he brings in, like the last special he did was all the Karate Kid, like every single cast member for all three of the Karate Kids, not the next Karate Kid because Hilary Swank wasn't there, but all three of the first Karate Kids, and then the entire cast of Cobra Kai, all in one big fucking call. And they were all on like various audio devices and like.
That sounds annoying, dude. I don't want to be in a Zoom call with 10 people, let alone like.
They edit it
50.
They edit it really well. Like they cut people out, and I think there's some magic, Hollywood magic happening.
Funny enough, I did watch The Next Karate Kid for the first time over the weekend.
Oh, you did?
That is a bad movie. It is not great.
That's the only crew that was not invited to be in this giant call.
Not invited.
Or she just, I think they did try and invite her and she has not responded yet, or just won't.
I mean, well, there were some spoiler guests, and I'm not going to reveal who, that showed up in the latest season of Cobra Kai that might entice her to come in. So we'll see what happens. Next season, she might be there.
From speaking of audio, I'd like to apologize last week for how my audio sounded. It should not sound like that now.
You really don't have to.
It should be okay.
Our man on the street, Kevin Oates, acknowledged that your audio was barely even noticeable. So.
Oh, good. Thank God.
He means he couldn't hear you.
I'm literally doing what you suggested to me last week.
Yeah.
So I have my camera is plugged into my main computer now. Audio is all first party audio, not like transferred audio.
Okay, so yeah, hopefully that me and Neo kind of tackled it for a little bit after last week. Just more like conceptual discussions, understanding the signal flow and where to put things. But I'm glad that's already helped a little bit. So
it sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, now you have me. So now you can compare against me, and I have the worst audio, so it's fine. Everyone's gonna forget, and they're gonna only hear me, so it's fine.
It's always the most recent.
Don't worry about it.
Cool.
Hopefully next week I'm not on AirPods. But
hell yeah.
We'll all get back there.
So what have you been up to, Felix?
Okay, so just real brief. I download. No,
it never is. It
no,
never is.
It's been.
It never is. He has to. If he has to sigh before
I was
he
gonna
tells the
say,
story, it's not fucking brief. It's not brief.
All right. Here's what's happening.
Okay. So the cyberpunk or genre is a theme with mine, and there was a game I bought a while ago on the Xbox, and it finally came to the Switch, and I realized it was there. I mentioned it a long time ago. It's called Ruiner. Ruiner is I
remember you talking about this.
So Ruiner is like isometric, angle. Very, very. The angle of it reminds me of it's a fucking. Oh God, I'm blanking. The game with the
Diablo.
Diablo. Thank you. I knew it was a D word. Yeah. So it reminds me a lot of that, but it takes place in the cyberpunk future, and it opens up after the initial part, and there's like a little hub world that you can go around and get quests from people, and it's pretty cool.
I looked up some screenshots as you're talking, and this does look pretty cool, honestly.
It's a real pretty game. It's very stylistic and very, very much like a well put together cyberpunk themed game if you want to play an alternative to actual cyberpunk. And I really enjoy it. It's a shooter, you're just a stick shooter. You're aiming in certain directions, but you have it's crazy. This game came out 2-3 years before Cyberpunk, and it has like a lot of the same like tropes and moves you can do, and upgrades are very similar. Like there's so much in the game that's very similar. Obviously,
that genre's been around since the 80s at least.
Yeah, so I gather when they made this game, they were probably pulling from the tabletop game. So that's been kind of a recurring theme for me and my interest besides Fallout. That update came out. They just did a quality of life update, which I'm pretty excited. So now, like, when you hover over an item in your Pip-Boy, it now shows you
this now.
Yeah, the update came out for Fallout yesterday. So
I thought we were talking about Ruiner. So
I skipped past Ruiner, and we're moving on. Go ahead.
Were you playing it?
Playing Ruiner? Ruiner?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's. I bought it on the Switch. It came to the Switch.
Came out on the Switch.
So I bought it. Sorry, okay. I thought I'd said that, but like. I bought it on the Switch, and I've been playing Ruiner just off and on, just to meet that cyberpunk,
Scratch the itch.
I got to scratch the itch. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But Fallout also came out with the quality of life update, and so they added some things that make the gameplay menu management like way easier. One, they gave you a 1,200 pound stash now, so you have 1,200 pounds versus 800.
What was it before? 800.
Yeah. So that's really cool. It's not going to affect me because I was really good at managing the 800. There are people who aren't good at managing their stash amount, but I figured out like a system at the level I'm at.
Right.
Yeah. So like if somebody comes back to the game and they had trouble managing the stash, you're going to be able to. It's 1,200. The other thing they added was stack weight. So now when you look at like bullets, it's not just the individual weight of the bullets. It was so stupid. It was like 0.0001. And then you would have to fucking go in and do some math to find out how many pounds that fucking is. Right?
Realism, dude.
Right. Now, the game tells you that
I know you can carry 1,200 pounds of things somehow, but we're going to make every individual bullet weigh something because realism.
What's hilarious about the stack weight thing is I now realize that fucking shotgun shells weigh a whole lot more than other shit. Like, I have a lot of shotgun shells, and I realize,
makes sense, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, but like you don't think about it.
Realism.
Yeah. If someone made me think about it, I would think about it,
because it showed me like compared to like my 10mm rounds, the shotgun shells were like 14 pounds, and I was like, holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah,
taking up weight. But anyway, so that's
shells
cool.
that actually have other shells inside that explode out when you shoot it, so it's like
I know how shotguns work. And then in the Pip-Boy now, they added categories that make more sense. So like now, aid and food are separate. So you have
Okay.
a food tab where it's just food, and then you have aid, which is like your drugs and stuff, and that's in a separate tab. And then they added a new tab if you want to look for the last thing that you used or added to your stash or your inventory.
Oh, that's
You can go to new, and then you have food, and so that's really
That
cool.
seems super helpful, especially
Yeah.
when there's a lot of things you have to be managing.
They did not add the fucking perk card loadouts, which we've been waiting for
man, I
fucking.
know.
I still want to be able to like set a perk card loadout for like melee versus shooting, and I can't fucking do it. So
I know you and your Twitter BFF, dude. He promised you.
one of these days I'm gonna fucking send him another tweet saying, "What's up, dude?" Like
Pete Hines.
me and Pete Hines, we got a thing, and
Excuse me, Peter.
yeah, Peter,
What is good?
and then
You promised me this.
yeah. So I've been fucking around with. I fucked around with that. The last thing I was going to talk about, real briefly, is I mentioned to Locke, and I don't know if he ever saw what I wrote to you in the Emerging Gamer Discord. You said you're going to play Cyberpunk. You're really into the Assassin's Creed currently, but you said you're eventually going to play it.
Yeah,
So remember, I told you that there's some missable weapons in the beginning.
Yeah, you mentioned the katana and something else, I think, right?
Right, and a pistol. So somebody figured out there is a way to get back to that shit.
Yeah, of course
And
there is.
you can clip back into the building, and then you basically go back into the place where you do the initial missions, and all of the bodies of the people you killed are all still there. Anything you left alive is still there to fight you. The camera systems are still hackable. The collectibles are all still there. And then you just the only thing you need to bring with you is a double jump. You have to outfit your legs with double jump. But if you miss that sword and you miss that gun, you can actually get all the way to the top if you follow a video on YouTube.
Wow, no shit.
It does require you to clip back into the building via opening a car door that opens you through the wall of the building.
It sounds like the Sparrow glitch in the new Destiny.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Oh, yeah.
in the same raid, you could glitch through one of the other out of bounds areas by pushing yourself up against the door with the stasis crystals out of that exotic gun.
Yeah.
That was a fun one too.
Yeah. So that's. I would just want to let you know.
We love a good out of bounds here.
I mean, I'm pretty much. Like I said, I'm about 10% until the end of the story. Going through as many of the side quests as possible. I got through all of Pan Am's stuff. I got through all of.
You're doing every single thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely gotten trophies for every single one of the regions, completed all the... Oh, and I'm doing the money glitch regularly. And they did not...
Nice.
The recent update did not patch out the money glitch. So if you still want to do it, you can still do the money glitch.
Excellent.
And I have a little bit more information. All you have to do is put the painting, store the painting in... I think I already mentioned this. You get this painting from this quest. I can't remember the name of the quest, but you get a painting from a quest... comes down from the moon or something, some fucking dumb shit. And then you pay for the or you sell it to the vending machine, and then you buy it. You leave the vending machine instantly, and then go back in, and it's only €5 to buy it back.
Right.
You get 4,000 when you sell it. So you get 4,000, get back 5 or lose 5. Get the thing back, sell it again for another 4,000. Get back, sell it for 5.
Sure.
Like it's crazy. It's crazy. You can also do it. I found out that you not only can you do it with the vending machines, you can do it with every vendor. And some of the like the gun vendors and like the net hacking vendors, those all have like more caps. They have. I'm saying caps like it's fucking Fallout. They have more euros.
Right.
They have like 30,000 or 40,000, so you can get more money out of them. But I need 2 million euros in order to buy all the cars in the game. I think that's overshooting, but I want some cash left over after I buy all the cars.
No, of course.
But that's the goal. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. That's all I've been doing.
I love it, dude. Just glitching that. Did you see?
Did all of that fit into my sigh? Is that?
I mean, I think honestly, you sighed. Your sigh was disproportionate to the information levels. I was expecting
So much more.
So much more, or some massive issue. Did you see that the mod tools are officially released now for Cyberpunk?
Right, but they wouldn't be. They would never. That's not console mod tools. That's for PC.
Yeah, it might just be PC.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not doing.
I did see that.
There's no way you're getting console mod tools for Cyberpunk 2077. The game can barely exist stably on the console, let alone running everyone's mods.
Well, no, it would be funny if they're like, here, have the console mod tools so you can fix the game.
Damn, it would be an incredible mod for Cyberpunk.
Honestly, the first thing I thought when they got dropped, I was like, great, now people can fix it.
Well, dude, I don't know if you saw Twitter, but I was saying I'm happy and I'm sad because I think it might disincentivize CDPR to actually fix it because
Right.
There's already a group out there probably working on the major unofficial Cyberpunk patch or whatever.
There was already
That's how it feels with Bethesda. They're unincentivized because they have all the mod tools out.
Right.
I was watching. There was a video I was watching where a guy had made third-person mode. You already have third-person for the car, the driving around, but they made it was janky and it looked stupid at certain angles, but it was a working third-person. Like you could do it. Like it was
for
crazy.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all.
We'll see.
I am
for the
gonna
PC
get back
that
to
makes
that
your characters look like they would if you're playing on an Xbox One. That'd be a pretty great mod, honestly. Remember the video, the one meme video that first went around, the unpatched game on an Xbox One, where the cop's face was it was like Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was it was all blocks.
That would be a sick mod for a PC. Anyway,
Neo,
is there anything you want to get caught up on before we hit the Stonk talk?
I'm definitely going to get back to Cyberpunk. That is a game that I will get through and finish if I have to force myself, because I do like the story. But other than that, I've also started Sekiro, and I've barely made progress since last week. I got to the next boss in the area that I was since we last talked, and I'm beating my head against it. I haven't had really a lot of time to play games, so other than that, I played Mario Party for the first time on Switch. It's pretty fun. If you got a nice group of 4 or so people, you have a good time on your hands, and you'll hate each other by the end of it because that game is diabolical and how it plays. The mini games are great though. Party mini games, definitely recommend it. At least. But that's it. That's all I've been playing. That's all I've done.
Yeah, Switch,
not a whole lot of big updates.
No, Switch Mario Party is fun, but you can't play online with people, which makes literally zero sense.
It is. Yeah, it's a little challenging at this point.
It's a classic Nintendo dumb decision that makes no sense in the context of the product they released. But nothing else new there.
So Mario Party is literally designed to be played at a party.
Yeah.
In a couch party, yeah, if you're on the couch with everybody.
You can play an online minigame blitz versus someone else. You can just play the mini games from the board games together, and then I guess see who does better overall. But that's why would anyone do that?
It honestly makes no sense at all that they wouldn't think about online multiplayer for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
It's a board game that you can play on screen. It's
not even complicated.
It's a board game.
It's not even it's really not.
Maybe even add up to 8 players online. Make it
right.
Make it something crazy and new. I don't know, Nintendo.
Right. Yeah, I played it locally with my nephew. We played a few games and it was fun, but it's just different. It's not the original Mario Party anymore where kids are getting together to play next to one another. It just doesn't happen as much anymore. You need to be making multiplayer games.
They could have made such a big impact with it if they decided to do multiplayer.
For sure.
Playing cooperative board games together, and Nintendo could be the one. Be well, remember Mario Party? Well, now here it is online.
Right. That would make too much sense, though.
Too much sense, dude. Too much.
Well, I think there's a move in that direction with the Super Mario 35. That's kind of a move in that direction, kind of.
They dip their toe in often, right? Animal Crossing's kind of multiplayer, but the multiplayer in that is a nightmare to use because it takes 3 minutes to load into someone else's island, or even Mario Kart.
And they're playing the entire time.
Yeah, and even Mario Kart, while being an okay online experience, it's not the easiest to friend codes. We're still with friend codes here. This is Nintendo we're talking about, who they're not fully on board with the online experience. They really do believe the best experience is in front of your TV with other people. That is generally their
like,
belief.
why are they the only company that thinks that it needs to be like one or the other and it can't be both?
Right. That's the problem with the thinking there.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, they're
considers
not the
themselves more of like a toy
no,
company than like an entertainment company.
they're not
in
the
some
only
respects.
company that's short-sighted. That me and our mutual friend Menti tested out Apple Arcade, and a good majority of the games there can only be played locally.
Interesting.
Yeah,
like
but
they don't
like,
have a lot of like. There's not a lot of games in that membership that have online capabilities.
That's dozens of indie developers.
Right.
Like, we're not talking about Nintendo and a first party. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Nintendo hasn't created infrastructure for online multiplayer ever, and like what they have now is still not good. When there's perfect examples of what good looks like. So to Neo's point, they're like actively choosing not to develop that and saying this is the way we want you to play, even though it can be both. It doesn't stop people from playing Mario Party together when they're at each other's houses. It also means that they can now, during a pandemic, also play with their friends and play that game instead of playing something else.
And
Like,
the data's out there. Like, no one's losing money except Nintendo for not making these decisions.
Right.
Like, they're literally they're outsold by every console except the Xbox, but that was 3 years after they dropped the Switch. Like,
yeah, they were like the best selling console last year.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right, during the pandemic. But like, and everyone's like, Nintendo was like, they're just such a leader in video game design, but like, they're not inexperienced, and it's just gonna come back to bite them. Like, the best thing they did was make the store open to third party developers, but like, mix their online like system is terrible. Mix in the fact that you can't, communicate with people properly when you play their consoles. Mix in the fact that they're still like, I don't know, making shit weird hardware wise, like the drift issue with the Joy-Cons. There's just so many small little decisions that are questionable when they should be doubling down and trying to take more of that market.
Oh yeah.
Keep in mind, their last
Nintendo, so we don't have to work. Yeah.
Major project that they released was the Mario Kart AR Tour thing. That like you buy the Mario Kart and you make a racetrack in your own home and you use the Switch to like Mario Kart with people. That is like severely like a be in the room with people while you play it type activity. Like that is, and you have to buy like like that's like the last major thing that they thought was a cool idea and a fun. It's like a gimmicky toy. Like that's they do that. Nintendo Labo was like another one of those examples of like Nintendo going, here's a fun thing to do in your kitchen table. Make a cardboard design and then play with it with your Switch. Like. They do a lot of that. Like that is them. That is Nintendo's thing, and they're sticking to it. To hell with what you Xbox gamers want.
Exactly.
In your multiplayer Call of Duties and whatnot.
My anecdote from trying to play an online Nintendo game: does the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 count as a Nintendo game? Like I think it's a development studio hired by Nintendo to make it.
That is exclusive to Switch.
Right. I know it's exclusive, but it's
it's not first party, but
so the way that game works is you have a team of 4 heroes and like you can play with your friends, so you can set up like a team, right? So 3 people. So I tried this with people and that game has like cutscenes. And the worst fucking thing was that if we wanted to skip the cutscene, we all had to do it together. So we had to create a command that we would, because we were talking over, we weren't even, they didn't have chat or anything, so we were just using Discord.
No, they don't.
And like, so we're playing this game through Discord, but in order to signal that we wanted to like get past the cutscene that we had already watched probably in other playthroughs, we all had to yell out, skip it! Skip it! So we got this habit of just screaming skip it whenever we got to a cutscene all fucking night long.
I love bringing up the headset that they put out for Splatoon 2. Do you remember this thing?
Yep, I do. I do. You plug it in your phone and
your phone. You had to have a smartphone and then use their app, then run a cable out to your Switch, and then maybe you could talk to someone.
It's almost like the days of like when Final Fantasy XI first came to PlayStation 2, or like
The hard
when you
drive.
had to, where you had to buy the hard drive
Yes.
expansion in order to run it, or like
That
wasn't
for my
there
brother for Christmas?
wasn't there something crazy with SOCOM when multiplayer first started on PlayStation 2?
I don't know.
I think it started with
they had
SOCOM.
a USB headset. They had a USB headset.
They had like a
that came with
special headset that you could use for SOCOM. Like
Mhm.
that was PlayStation 2. That was the infancy, and they just released something, but you plug it into a smartphone.
Specialized game hardware. In 2017, they threw this out, dude.
Like
oh
that,
my god.
like that hookup for SOCOM was because that was the first online multiplayer shooter, and like they needed a way for you to communicate that didn't
Great
exist
solution. Great solution for the
Like-
Sony PlayStation 2.
It's crazy, dude. Wild.
Anyway, let's get into like the main topic tonight.
Yeah.
Brass
because
tacks.
hard cut
Let's
right
get
there.
down to the brass tacks here, folks.
Felix, you had
That's a lot.
I had no good transition. I'm not
There
gonna
was
lie.
such a good potential trade-off with Felix, but it was too early to use. When you were talking about that cyberpunk glitch, you're essentially
The
like
money.
short selling your painting to yourself, and I was like, "Damn, dude, that would be the moment." But there's still a little bit more to talk about. So
I mean, it's not. I mean,
It would have
no,
been fine. Felix, don't pick it apart.
It's-
Don't pick it
I'm
apart.
not going to pick it
it's-
apart
it's
because,
it's
well,
a
no,
not
I can't pick
exact
it apart because I
analogy
don't.
transition.
Like I said, we're going into this not being financial experts. I have investments in the stock market. I would describe myself as a long-term investor in the stock market. I'm not a short seller. I'm not a day trader. I have no interest in that kind of volatility whatsoever. So everyone listening, I'm not. If I give anyone ever and I give sometimes personal friends like advice on how to invest, it's never short term instant easy money making scheme. It's never that, and that's what all of this shit fucking is. And that's too that's way too volatile for me.
I would agree with the majority of the things that you just said, besides the fact that what is currently happening rarely ever happens. So we should start there in terms of like, this is not something that is like a normal occurrence. Some of the things that have led to this are very normal occurrences. But what is happening with GameStop currently and GameStop's stock price is something that only happens once every decade, right? The last time that this happened was with Volkswagen, which I think was in 2008. And I don't know the time that it happened before that. But
okay, I'll tell you,
something like this has not happened, right?
I saw the most amazing meme. If you're familiar with this movie, it came out in the 80s. Someone was like, "What's happening right now is exactly the finale of the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy." If you guys have ever seen that, what's occurring here is the same exact thing that carried out the plot line of the end of Trading Places, that put the two villains in the movie completely out of work. So like somebody observed that and figured out that whoever is doing this through Reddit is basically just following the Trading Places playbook, which is fucking hilarious.
So to just reiterate very clearly to anyone that's in the Twitch channel or listens to this, that this is not financial advice. This is not, we are no means experts, but we're going to pick apart probably from A to Z what's currently happening with GameStop. If you haven't already heard, or you've heard and still don't understand, we'll do our best to explain it. And then just, I guess, probably share all of our thoughts on it and everything in between. So it's very important that you don't make
any decision.
That you do not make any decisions with your money based off of things that we say. And if you do and you lose money, that's capitalism, baby. So
not responsible.
The one thing
you make your decisions.
Leave a review on iTunes. Love it.
I brought up this topic, and the one thing I wanted to clarify to give better context as to why I suggested it, because like I said, we're not financial experts, so it's risky to think that we could even talk about this. But
I understand why people would think that we are, okay? But we just have to be very clear that we're not.
But here's the reason why I brought it up. It's because I have a lot of gamer friends. I got guys that I work with who are gamer friends. I have people in my life who are gamer friends. They know that I invest in the stock market and have had some successes in the stock market because I've communicated that in the past. So when all this started, people started coming up to me asking me if that I think they should invest in this, even though I don't really fucking, you know, this is not the kind of trading that I even do. But like, because I thought it meritable to like talk about this on our show to clarify for people who are listening if they don't fully understand it. What are the risks? You know, what kind of chance would somebody be taking if they went down this path? So I think it was important to just lay it out for each other so that we all fully understand it, you know, and then also lay it out for people listening.
Yeah, I would make sure keep those two questions that you just mentioned and make sure that we hit them. So because I think those are important things along the lines, and it's going to be really hard. We'll do our best to tell a cohesive story here and hit everything that's involved in this. But those are questions that if you feel like we should answer for those that are listening, then I think that's fine to give our opinions for gamers who have full-time jobs that play video games and talk on a video podcast, give you our opinions on this. Again, we play video games. Okay, that's it.
That's about it.
What we do.
We're not even really good at talking about that.
I will share. We will all share our own experiences and our own things as it relates to the stock market and to GME. But again, we will answer those questions if it's come up. So what are we talking about, guys? We're talking about GameStop, and we're talking about currently what's happening with the stock price. So anyone that's listening, that's what we're covering tonight.
I don't even think what's behind me is actually current. But the last we checked, the last I screenshotted it, it was 347.51. I don't know if it went higher.
It's down 15% in aftermarket. It's down to 292.54 in aftermarket, which there's reasons for that, which we can get to. But yes, that was probably right about the high for the day. So I guess we should start with
I would say the
where it all started.
Yeah, the beginning of this and like the overall goal.
Sure.
The people that are pushing this agenda right now.
I could give you like a big overview of like what the last week has been.
I would rewind a little. I would rewind a little bit.
Even more than that.
Yeah, because this started in 2019. All of this. All of this is dating back to 2019. So if for all those that don't look at our popular or all on Reddit, you might not have seen this subreddit if you don't know about it, but there's a subreddit called Wall Street Bets. And it is everything that Felix does not do in the stock market, which is day trading, short-term trading, and using the stock market like a casino.
Short selling.
So I've been a sub of Wall Street Bets for years, and I really only used it to read and laugh and meme and all of that because I was not really in a position to gamble the way in which people gamble on that subreddit, right?
When I initially opened my Robinhood account, that's when I joined Wall Street Bets. Like I looked for like investing subreddits, and that was one of the ones that came up. And yeah, it's to me it seemed like just like a thing that memed on the stock market and like just anything in general.
Yeah, and those guys, everyone that was a part of that at that time, were all people that were either fairly wealthy and would spend obscene amount of money to either make a lot of money or lose a lot of, and then post about it. And they would either post what was called their gain porn or their loss porn, right? Either showing screenshots of all the money that they made or all the money that they lost. Or there was a group of people that was just essentially gambling with whatever money they had to try and make money, right? And that's what the subreddit was. So in 2019, there was a guy, his Reddit handle is deep fucking value is his Reddit handle. And he made a post he made a post in 2019 essentially saying, guys, GameStop is going to explode. It's going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know.
Did this coincide with the Chewy founder?
No, Chewy was like this summer. I think Chewy was this summer.
I feel like Yes, Neo. I feel like
It's-
the founder of Chewy had made the move already, but I don't know for certain. But the reason why he made the post was because he truly felt like GameStop was undervalued. And when he did the research on the company, he realized that there were a bunch of hedge funds that were shorting the stock, which is, fast forwarding to today, the root cause of everything that we're seeing right now. So he realized that there were all of these hedge funds artificially shorting the stock and making it cheaper than what it should be. So he
Elaborate on what
decided
shorting the stock means.
shorting a stock means yes.
Well, I was going to clarify on that.
Yeah, please.
So basically, what I do mostly is I just buy stock. I buy the share price. So let's say I invest $100. Okay, if that stock drops to $0, I lose $100. That's it. Okay. Now,
Right.
when somebody shorts, first off, for clarification, to do that kind of trading, a basic brokerage account wouldn't even work. You need a specific
No,
account.
it would not.
You need an account called
Correct.
a margin account. And that's the only way you can do those type of trading anyway. But it is betting. The fact that Reddit is called Wall Street Bets is apt because basically you're betting over time that the stock price is going to decrease to that value that you set. And the reason why it's dangerous is because if it doesn't decrease, if it increases, you're going to owe. You're going to owe money.
Correct.
Yeah.
And to be clear, most people on Wall Street Bets don't short stock. The other side of Wall Street Bets, besides people buying shares, is them buying options, which we can get to as well without making this a class on the stock market. But
Stock market.
So he realized that there were hedge funds shorting the stock, meaning that they chose a lender to lend them money to buy shares in the event that the shares will go down in price, and they will be able to buy those shares at a lower price and then pay back the money that they've owed. The issue is, to Felix's point, is if the stock price does not go down and it goes up, when you are shorting a stock, your loss is infinite. It doesn't end.
Right.
Because if the price keeps going up, per share, you need to buy every share that you owe for whatever cost the stock price is. So if you borrowed 10,000 shares of a stock and it went up to 1,000 shares of stock for a single unit of a single share, you owe 10,000 times $1,000, right?
Damn.
And it can go infinitely, right? Because
Right.
you have to keep buying those shares, right? So what happens is if I borrow those 10,000 shares, I then need to buy them back, right? So when I'm buying them back, I have to buy them at whatever the market price is at. When I'm buying them at the market price, everyone else is buying them at that price as well. And as we keep all as a collective buying the stock price goes up, obviously, right? So they have to keep buying. And when someone buys 10,000 shares, as an example, 10,000 shares of a stock, it's going to shoot the price up, and they have to keep buying, and they have to keep buying to essentially buy all of the shares that they owe.
And there's a fucking hilarious term that they call this when everyone starts buying the shit back. And I need to find it because it was mentioned in the Time article. Oh God, keep talking, Locke.
I mean, obviously they have to do that as soon as possible because, like you just said, your loss would be infinite. It's increasing, so they're forced to do this, and they have to because obviously earning money is the goal, not losing money.
Right, and to be clear, I mentioned 10,000 shares. There's people on Reddit that buy 10,000 shares. These hedge funds are buying millions of shares. To be very clear about this, so when we talk infinite loss, they're in the billions of dollars of money that they need to spend to buy these shares back, and most of these hedge funds don't.
By the way, it's called
have that money.
It's called a short squeeze.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So when they're all crazy doing this, like it's fucking.
I mean,
it's
at
like
that
a
point,
bottleneck.
Pennies make millions of dollars worth of difference.
Correct. Before we keep going, so deep fucking value, he calls this out, and everyone on Wall Street Bet is like, "You're a fucking idiot. Like you're an idiot," and they essentially laugh him off of the subreddit. And it starts gaining traction because more and more people just randomly start talking about it. The thing you have to understand about the Wall Street Bet community is essentially like if you just post a bunch of emojis and share your stock ticker and say that it's going to go up, someone's going to throw money into it. So people just started buying it, right? And because people start buying it, the stock price naturally goes up. So deep fucking value bought at $4 a share or under when he was buying, right? So think of that, $4 a share after he was buying all of these shares, and he was buying them and buying them and buying them. His initial investment was either $50,000 or $60,000. I forget which one, but it was either 50 or 60 is how much money he threw into it at that time. And it starts gaining traction over the course of the past year. I would say at this point it's been gaining traction, and then you get to the past like 2 weeks when everything has then since exploded. But that's kind of the backstory of what led us to where we're at now.
I mean, part of it is definitely because of Cohen, the former Chewy CEO. He bought like a 10% stake like a few months ago. He's somebody letting me know September he bought that stake, and then he did, like, announced it publicly then, and that was also another indication that something would probably happen with GameStop, because it wasn't until early January, it was just hovering around $18 to $20. Like that's where it was pretty solid until then, and then this last week is where everything like really blew up.
And yeah, right, you're right. And I think that with Cohen really quickly is he completely grew Chewy.com into this massive e-commerce site, right? So like him joining GameStop was like this revitalization for the company as like a visionary to say
Chewy's
this person's going to help.
Animal food? Is that what it is?
Animal food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chewy.com.
We get Chewy all the time. Or we did.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he grew Chewy into this $1 billion company when it wasn't that before. So him joining GameStop was this huge indication of like, hey, is this guy going to do it again? Right? Is he gonna make GameStop into something that's valuable? That's like valuable, yeah. And there were also rumors that GameStop was going to start covering, having PC parts, that they were going to create like PC build stations inside of their retail locations, that they were going to do like custom build options like some other popular sites do, all of which apparently is coming down the pipeline for GameStop. But all of these little things start helping the stock price go up.
There was also rumor at one point that Microsoft was going to buy them. At one point.
Well, the partnership, yeah, and then it became the partnership with GameStop and Microsoft, which again helped the stock price. So all of this helps it go. The tipping point for all of this, though, was when Wall Street Bets realized the amount of stocks that were shorted, which this is a super important part, and why all of this is absolutely ridiculous, and why there will probably be a ton of regulations that come out of the end of this, is that Wall Street, the hedge funds, shorted 140% of stocks, meaning they were shorting more stocks than were available to purchase, and it was allowed to happen. So the fact that they shorted more stocks that were available, so they 40% over the total amount of the company, meant that they could be hemorrhaged to the fact that the stock price could go up indefinitely to a ceiling that no one knows what's capable, because this hasn't happened before, where a company's been shorted against to the amount where there's more shares that have been shorted than there are that are available to purchase. And that's what makes this very, very unique. And quite frankly, should be illegal from a hedge fund perspective, but is not and is allowed. So that brings us to the past 2 weeks and where we're at now. So Neo, what were some of the things that you wanted to bring up to kind of summarize where we've been at for the past maybe 2 weeks to a week with it?
So about a week ago, the stock price was at about $20, and over the weekend or by Monday morning, the stock actually shot up like a massive amount. Hang on, I do have my my thing in front of me here, and it was funny because I actually noticed that I wasn't like actively on Wall Street Bets, but I was looking at just stocks in general, and noticing that it was at $20, and then by the time the morning of Monday, like Monday morning came, I noticed that it was spiking up incredibly, because it went from that morning, it went from $60 to about $140, which is when I guess everything came to head.
Well, that's everybody buying, right? So that's everybody
Right.
over the
Yeah,
weekend.
because
People had like the whole weekend to talk about it, and then Monday everybody rushes to buy.
Well, the point of clarification is now you don't just have like short sellers buying, you now have like retail purchasers, like people like
Right.
me. People
Well,
like
right,
me.
because now again you have to realize this subreddit has, you know, it's grown exponentially, but hundreds of thousands, millions of people on it, and everyone's saying buy GME. And the type of people that gravitate towards this subreddit literally only need one person on the internet to tell them to do something, and they will literally do it. So you now have millions of people buying, and some of them are not buying a lot. Some of them are buying 1 share, 2 shares, 5 shares. But again, those are shares that are being taken away from the available shares that the shorts need to buy later. So when there's no available stocks to shares to purchase, they're having to purchase at market price. They're having to purchase at the highest amount possible. And if we keep buying, the price will continue to go up indefinitely. When this happened to Volkswagen in the past, Volkswagen went up to the most valuable company in the world at $1,000 a share at the time in 2008. When it was on near bankruptcy, it went to $1,000 a share because of a short squeeze that was happening.
Wow.
And there's, for those that know the financial side of this way more than I do, are saying that this could be 3, 5, 10 times the amount of Volkswagen if it hits its peak, and it's allowed to hit its peak if it doesn't get shut down somehow.
Well, they're already starting that. They're already putting blocks on whether people can buy, and like.
So they're halting. I mean, but there are SEC regulations that force, and this is pre GME, that if a stock is rising too quickly, they do need to halt it. So they pause trading for like a 15-minute window. And you'll usually see a dip in the market. People will start selling off because they start to panic, right? So they start selling off. You see a dip in the stock price, and then it starts rising up again because people buy the dip. And that's the motto of Wall Street Bets: buy the dip and hold, and don't fucking sell. So
Can I talk about my journey a little bit about what happened this week?
Yeah, please do.
Monday morning, I noticed the inevitable like rise of it, and I decided to purchase shares at $64. So that morning is when they were $60, and then it skyrocketed up to about 140 by like mid-afternoon, and at that point it was starting to reach its like peak for the day, and you can see on January 25th it has like a big mountaintop where it reaches its peak, and then it starts coming down. And I'll admit I panic sold, but I jumped out on a profit.
Right,
So
sure.
that was good ultimately.
So you don't have any now, or did you rebuy?
Well, hang on.
Oh,
I did rebuy.
This is getting rich.
It went well, it went up. Yesterday on the 26th was one of actually the crazier day, because it started at $80, and then it went all the way up.
It dipped. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it went back down, but then it went all the way back up to about 145, and after that happened, it held at $280 around. It hovered around that area, like it went all the way back up to that area, and then it's been holding in that average for like the last day or two. Which is when which is like right before I bought back in.
Yeah, today I didn't see it dip past 300. I don't think it went below 300 because I watched it all day today.
Yeah, me too. I had that on a screen just all day, just watching what it was doing.
Did you buy any, Locke?
Yeah. I own a decent number
But
of shares.
You already did before it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I bought
okay.
in. Yeah, I think I have like 120 shares. Is what I'm currently holding.
Locke.
So I'm gonna just keep holding, bro. We're gonna just hold till I either lose it all or I make a lot of money. So we'll see.
I mean, I don't think I don't think the decline of the share price is gonna, even though it's rising fast. I don't think it's gonna like just drop to zero one day.
No, I have stop loss orders in.
Okay.
So
okay, cool.
Yeah, dude. I'll be okay.
Oh, I should put this in. I should put this in too.
But like the funny thing with this is like Wall Street Bets first started with like, all right, dude, we're gonna just try to get this to 420.69. Like we're gonna just try and make this stock price like $420. And like we're all gonna just sell at 420.69. And then like a week ago when it was like getting north to like, you know, upwards of 200, people were like, oh no, man, this has got to be like 1,000. Like we're not stopping until 1,000. And then like CNBC picks it up. Like that's the other crazy thing, right? Like the mainstream media are talking about this subreddit. They're talking about all of these different like, you know, retail day trader investors, and they're talking about this battle between hedge funds and normal ass people that figured out how to manipulate the market, right? And you know, all of that makes the price skyrocket. So everyone's like, oh no, we're going to $1,000 a share. And then people are like, no, we're going to $3,000 a share. And no one knows because it can keep going up, right? Like these hedge funds have to buy millions of shares. And Friday is D-Day. And Friday will be the day that really sets the tone for the future of the stock price and where this goes. And that's because on Friday, all of the option contracts that were purchased expire because option contracts expire every Friday. So
what does that mean for the stock?
What happens on Friday with the option contracts expiring is an option is the option to buy a stock at either a certain price. And when you buy an option contract, you're essentially, you set an expiration date, which usually expires on a Friday, and you're essentially buying the ability to buy the stock at a certain price, and you buy it as a put or a call. A call means you expect the share price to go up. A put means you expect the share price to go down. Well, what happens on Friday is all of those contracts expire, and all of the hedge funds that have been using those options to essentially hemorrhage the stock price are all going to expire. And Friday is going to be a big purchase date for a lot of these hedge funds. So they're going to have to buy a lot of amounts of stock on Friday, which is probably going to cause a surge.
Holy shit.
How big of a surge, we don't know yet. And to just call back to Deep Fucking Value, who again, remember, put in, I think 50 to 60K. I believe right now his last post on Wall Street Bets, let me bring it up really quickly, because he posts daily updates, and he shows his accounts every day at the end of each day to show you where he's at. His last post, his current value for his GameStop is $47,973,298.
Oh my god!
And yeah, his average price paid on his stock is $14, and that's because he keeps buying. He's kept buying as he goes. He probably hasn't bought in a long time, but that's his average price. And
it's pretty great. It's pretty good.
He currently owns 50,000 shares is what he currently owns.
Oh my God. Christ.
So you should see the posts on Wall Street.
Oh my God.
anytime he posts like his screenshot of how much money he has, everyone just goes, he's holding, we're all holding, and then it's just like post after post after post after post of just like hold. And that's the crazy thing, man. Like everything that's happening right now is because it's never happened before at this scale, and it hasn't happened before this organized to where, you know, the hedge funds and Wall Street are scared. They really are. Melvin Capital, which is a huge investment firm, had to be bailed out for like $1 or $2 billion because they couldn't afford all of the shorts that they put out on GameStop.
Which is insane considering how I tuned in a little bit to CNBC a few times throughout the day, and they were vehemently against what the social media was doing to GameStop. It was like enraging them. They were like confused and befuddled by it. And the fact that a hedge fund can so easily collapse because of the sheer amount of the bets that they were like hedging on is insane to think about. That you can get mad at a collective of people working together rather than like a multi-million billion hedge fund place that needs to be bailed out in that situation, which is
right.
What you should kind of be like, well, they made that's their loss. They bet against the game. They were playing in the game, man, and they lost. You know.
AOC tweeted, "Gotta admit, it's really something to see Wall Streeters with a history of treating our economy as a casino complain about a message board of posters also treating the market as a casino."
There it is.
Yep.
So
and it's true. Like none of this was a problem until a bunch of degenerate gamblers and random day traders and video game players and average ass people on a forum were all like, all right, let's do it.
We like GameStop.
And we're talking about GameStop right now, but it's happening. The idea of shorting a stock is not new, right? So it's also happening with AMC. It's also happened with Best Buy. It's happening a little bit with BlackBerry.
Nokia,
which some of them are not, in my opinion, worthwhile investments. Some of them are great investments, both short and long term. But
they do it when a company is losing its innate value. You know, it like,
or they want you to think the company is losing its innate value.
Right.
That's the other thing, because they're artificially setting a.
Right. I was reading an article that a lot of the original short selling that was done on this was motivated to kind of tank the company for their benefit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and that's
all of this is for the benefit of a hedge fund, right? Because hedge funds make money when they're shorting the stock. They make hundreds of millions of dollars when they short stock and the stock price goes down. So this is a tactic that hedge funds use, and that investments firms use regularly to make a lot of money. It's only at this point are they being faced with average Joes who talk in emojis and use use garbage language to say no. We're as a collective going to just buy as much as we can, and we're going to hold. And the thing with Wall Street bets is like, you're not doing this with your retirement, right? Like you're doing this as like you walking into Vegas and putting 10K on black on roulette, and like you lose. All right, fine. If we win and I make 50K, great. And that's why you have people that go in there and buy a share, buy 3 shares or whatever, right? It's not everybody buying 50,000 shares. But what this has done is it's made some pretty big whales that are out there, actual rich people, to buy shares. And there's been a lot of other investments firms that have bought shares in GME, right? Because every share that's purchased is a good thing against those that are shorting the stock. So there are like actual investments firms buying the shares because now they're going to make money. You have Elon Musk tweeted about GameStop. he tweeted it out. I'm pretty sure the stock price rose $80 a share between the time that he tweeted it and how quickly it rose. So yeah, it's crazy. The Wall Street Bets subreddit got shut down for hours tonight because the mods needed to clean it up because there were a bunch of like
it went private.
Yeah, there were a bunch of bot accounts coming in and like
muddling whatever their messaging was, or like
people saying like sell your GM tank, and like you know, there were accounts that were made like last week or were just made, and it's like, you know, which hedge fund do you work for trying to get me to sell my shares? And everyone's just posting like bots or saying like fuck off, we're holding, you know. It's just
Redditors
it's so funny.
They catch on so easily to that kind of stuff.
It's so funny, man. Like on a certain level, it's just hilarious to see like this like filthy mouth subreddit just fucking go in on the stock market
on Wall Street, dude. That's the best part about this for sure.
Even if I do lose out on this crazy moment in like the stock market history, like I'm just happy to be here and just have fun with it. I'm fully prepared to lose whatever I put in.
Yeah, in terms of risk, Neo, what you're doing isn't what everyone else is. The most you're going to lose is whatever money you put in. Like
put in exactly,
or whatever whatever inflates to, whatever
right.
inflates to, and then decreases to whenever you sell. That's the most you're going to lose. Like
essentially, I pulled out on Monday, so I came out with profit, and then I just put that back into into games right back in there. So like I haven't gained anything yet as far as that's concerned, but like I'm just sitting on it now and seeing what happens. Now, come Friday, because watching the stock market today was interesting because I was watching the market like lock up like AMC multiple times. They locked up Nokia like once or twice, and they locked GameStop from being purchased multiple times. This morning, I tried to buy shares of AMC to get in on that.
Right.
It's straight up. I couldn't like Robinhood straight up rejected me. Like it would not let me
there were so many
purchase anything.
I was trying to sell shares in another company today, and my E-Trade app was literally giving me the middle finger. Was literally like it was freezing. It wouldn't work. Finally, it went through.
Robinhood went down.
Yeah. Finally, my shares went through. I still don't have the money in my account, even though the it says the thing was executed. So if I don't have the money in my account by tomorrow, I'm gonna have to fucking E-Trade. I think TD Ameritrade was actually stopping people from buying GME, or was stopping people from putting in stop loss orders or something. I mean, literally there was
I have a message in front of me. They stopped it on GME and AMC, which a lot of people pointed out how unfair it was to block the average user from being able to use their services, while other people, larger more like, you know, bigger companies could do this, and they could actively trade and buy and sell, which was kind of shitty for the average person.
It is, especially when you look at like how many people like catch this by the way of the news and are like, all right, fuck it, I'll buy a share, right? Like, let me sign up for a Robinhood account, let me like put a share in, you know, let me dabble with it, right? Again, knowing that like there is a chance whatever you put in, you are going to lose. You could lose that, right? We're not talking about like long-term play, investment, retirement, any of that, right? You're not allowing them to do that, right? Where a hedge fund is going to be able to go and gobble up whatever shares they want. They're not using, you know, fucking E-Trade on their iPhone to buy Robinhood to buy shares. So yeah, like this afternoon, fucking Reddit, Twitter, all of that was out of control. It was out of control.
Locke,
it was insane.
Locke, was I reading right that like now in reaction to all of this, there's a bunch of companies that are doing long selling, where they're betting that the price is going to go to a higher price?
Well, yeah, I mean that would be an option call.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, I've dabbled a little bit in options myself.
Do you think that could be? This is where my mind gets a little muddied on how this works. But do you think that could be reactions from companies that anticipate that they're going to fucking take a beating, so they're trying to like make themselves even?
Or will companies start watching Wall Street bets to see who they can bet against or bet for?
Maybe.
Whoever Wall Street bets. No, I'm not saying. I'm like maybe companies will go. Maybe we should watch Reddit and see what Wall Street bets is selling. Or buying.
Yeah. I mean, you're not necessarily wrong, right? Like, there's a bunch of like Twitter posts from I don't know who they are, verified people on Twitter, so they're somewhat fucking important on the internet. Saying like, Wall Street Bets has the ability to be a somewhat profitable hedge fund if they really wanted to create themselves as one, right? Mm-hmm. They're just doing over the internet what people do every single day behind closed doors inside of a company, right? They're just doing it publicly and in probably the most college frat way possible. They're doing it that way. So yeah, I mean, buying calls, Felix, is something that people do every day because you can make a ton of money with investment calls.
Yeah, I looked into it and then I just stared at it for 5 seconds and I went, I'm not paying attention to this close enough to the biggest thing with calls. The biggest things with calls is, and puts for that matter, is you always know how much money, because you're always spending a premium, and that premium amount that you spend always going to be what you're okay with losing. Like I did some Apple calls recently where I bet that the Apple price was going to go up, and it didn't, and I lost money. Right.
And the benefit of options for some day traders and for some people that are getting into it, which I would never recommend anyone does options without a lot of research, is you can spend a fraction of the cost of money, and the flip side to it, there's a lot of upside to how much money you can make with little investment, but it's also one of the higher forms of gambling in the stock market that you can do, and the same thing goes for puts. If you're betting that the stock price is going to go down, it's the same thing. So at this point, we don't know where it's going to go. We don't know.
Can I ask what your plans for Friday are?
I got in super early, and I don't really. I'm probably going to just hold until Valhalla is probably what I'll do. I'm going to just hold, man.
I wish I had liquid cash to buy in, but I can't. We just don't have any.
I mean, it's really easy to get liquid cash. You just got to sell some other shares.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't done AMC personally yet, Neo. I know you mentioned that. I've thought about it because AMC is in a very similar spot as
they're at a
GME.
good buy-in price every.
Yeah. So the good thing about AMC right now is that it's not $300 a share. So that definitely makes it easier to buy in. The downside of AMC is it doesn't have the momentum that GME does, both from a community perspective, and then also it's not being shorted as much as GME. So the upswing potential is not as high, but you can still make a lot of money because these hedge funds literally don't think they're going to lose. So they keep shorting the stock. They literally haven't stopped. They keep fucking doing it over and over and over again. They have not stopped yet. So
there was a segment pointing out on the graph of GME that this is where the hedge funds decided to pull out their short, but everyone on Wall Street Bets was like, don't believe it. Don't fall for it. Just keep holding, keep buying. Yeah. Which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, so AMC is definitely, if you wanted to try and catch a little bit of a squeeze, what Wall Street Bets is planning on doing is whenever this bubble, which will pop at some point, it's going to pop because GameStop is not worth $300 a share. That's the other thing to make very clear. It is not worth that. It was undervalued at $4 a share. it is overvalued at $300 a share. The bubble will pop at some point. And everyone is talking, Wall Street Bets is like, okay, we're going to move our money from here. Where are we going next? And, there's talks of it being AMC. There's talks of it being Nokia, which, yeah, I mean, I'm in pretty deep in BlackBerry. I'm deeper in BlackBerry than I am in GME. But
nice.
I also bought BlackBerry at like $7 a share at the time.
It's pretty good increase since then.
Yeah, it's like $24 today. But again, like, so from my perspective, BlackBerry is a great stock to buy, and it's not a meme stock like Wall Street Bets is making it, because I believe that BlackBerry is undervalued, and it's not being shorted. Not nearly. I don't know the percent of short on it, but it's not being shorted nearly as much as GME, which again was 100%. The values change. I don't know what it is, but and it's just so wild that it's happening to GameStop of all places. Like this could have happened to any company, but it's happening.
It's a gamer stock.
It's so that it's happening to GameStop. It really is.
My favorite turn of phrase now is "power to the players," which is what a lot of going around.
Yeah,
that's GameStop's like slogan, and now people on Wall Street Bets are like shouting it.
Right.
It's just hilarious to me that now that's what they're doing.
I feel like so many more people are involved in this that would not have been because it is GameStop.
You're probably right, Trip. You're probably right. Like I saw Dr. Lupo tweeted out like he tweeted out the rocket ship emoji, which is essentially like a founding emoji of Wall Street Bets. So he tweeted out like to the moon, which is like a meme on Wall Street Bets, which is essentially like, we're going to take this stock price to the moon. So he tweeted that out, and I tweeted back to Lupo. I was like, let's fucking go, Lupo. And he responded. Lupo responded to me, was like, yup, like, we're going to do it. And I feel like, I don't know if he like sleuthed on Wall Street Bets before this, or like he just like caught wind because it's GameStop, but like there are so many streamers on that are talking about GME, and I have to feel like, to your point, Trip, that they're only talking about it because it's GameStop, because like it's hit their ethos, right?
It's
like
the perfect cross section of internet and people that love games, and those people do a lot of things on the internet together, and it just stirring this up even more than if it was like, I don't know, pick any random company that's being shorted a fuck ton, because this would work, and I'm sure Wall Street Bets would still have done this, but the traction, I think, is really being helped by this cross section of like just internet memers that there's a lot of parallels to Twitch culture and to Reddit culture as a whole. It's like the perfect snowball of activity.
Yeah. And I think it's just, I feel like GameStop is probably the perfect company for this to happen to, because of like everything. Like when the stock went from like 140-ish, I'm total ballparking, to like 80, people were like equating that to like buying a new video game and then selling it back to GameStop, right? Like,
just the parallels are so good, man.
It's just so good. And then there's people on Wall Street Bets like, guys, we need to all go to GameStop and sign up for Power Up Rewards cards. That'll help the stock price go up. We all got to sign up. Like,
it's so fucking funny.
It's so funny because all of this is created by hedge funds. It has nothing to do with the company itself, right? Like, again, when this dude bought into this company, it's because he didn't think the share price should be under $1, but he didn't think it was going to go up to $300+ a share at the time. He was just saying, guys, like, if you invest some money into this, you're going to make some money, because it's not worth $1 a share. It's worth way more, right? And then
you're talking about the Chewy guy? Are you talking about the Chewy guy?
The guy from Reddit.
Oh, the guy from Reddit.
That bought in, that's now got a net worth of 50 million off of a 50K investment, right? Which is an absolutely obscene. He's like the Lord and Savior of Wall Street Bets now. So, it could not. I don't think it would have definitely been as big for any other company, but I'm very happy that it's GameStop because it crosses paths with so much. It really does. And then just the shitty business practice of GameStop in general.
I know,
which will hopefully change with this guy from Chewy coming, who is actually a really great person too, which is cool. So hopefully he can actually turn the company around in the long term. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Do we feel like we did a good job of summarizing it?
You did a great
Yeah,
job, and I'm like retroactively, I'm like thinking like if Locke didn't join the show, what would this show have been?
It would have been
you guys would have done it.
Dumpster fire.
Mm.
You would have done it.
I would have done
I
my
would-
best,
I
but I
would
would
like,
not have done a good job.
I mean, like the article kind of like says this is
Regurgitating half-read articles.
Yeah, regurgitating
the
half-read
stock
articles.
Market,
Well, this is the benefit of this is the other reason why is because everyone's at no one is like at work not being able to look at this stuff.
right.
Mhm.
So like that's the other thing is like we're all able to multitask while we're doing our jobs to like
Mhm.
watch the stock market, read Twitter, read Reddit, like watch the internet live feed of CNBC. Like all of this can happen, right? Like
okay.
which makes it even crazier.
I had coworkers talk to me about GameStop today. Just come in and ask me, like, did you watch the stock market? Are you seeing what's happening with this? And I'm like, I had no idea you would have even cared about it. And I've had multiple conversations. My family text blew up today. My brother. Yeah, my brother was posting like, "Yo, look at GameStop right now. Look at my holdings in GameStop." And I was like, "You too? Are you serious?" This was today, just today. Like, and I've been watching this since Monday too. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's stupid how it's like breached mainstream. Like just this alone.
It has. It's
Locke,
crazy. It really is.
what you were talking about earlier makes me think of my former degenerate gambling roommate, who had one day or 1 week I came back into our place and he had in our living room had set up like 7 TVs to watch professional football, to watch all the games that he had spreads on, and there was an 8th TV, like a smaller TV that had American Idol on it. And I said, I get all of these. What the fuck is that? And he's like, I bet on American Idol.
Oh my god.
He's like,
dude.
I bet that guy's going to fucking win. I'm like, how did you bet on American Idol? He's like, offshores, bro. Offshores. He's like,
wow.
Get out of my fucking face. I'm watching.
Right.
He just went back to watching the TV. Yeah. I'll never forget that. I was like, what the fuck are all these TVs?
That's hilarious. I mean, people have, not thing. The only reason why it's so big now is because it's not, one, it's become more accessible for a lot of different reasons. It's become more accessible.
Because of retail trading that people can do.
Well, yeah, like there's a huge thing right now, right? Like $0 commission fees. Like when we were like back in the not so distant future, you used to have to spend a commission fee to sell shares or buy shares, right? Like E-Trade doesn't charge you commission fees right now. Robinhood doesn't charge you.
Oh, I didn't know. I did not realize that.
Yeah, E-Trade tells you now when you the app zero commission fees, right? They waived those, right?
Oh, that's dope.
So that's a big thing. Not that it was a ton of money, but it's money, right? That you're gaining back in your pocket. You also have stimulus checks with people literally YOLOing all of the stimulus to fucking stock, right? So like, it's and then it transcends like, who during the day watches CNBC, like, Market Watch besides like actual investors, right? Nobody, but like, when it hits the zeitgeist like this, you then have the entire population looking at it, and then it becomes something that transcends like its own, ecosystem. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow, because it's, if anything, the memes on Reddit are most entertaining, and that's the best, because honestly, I laugh out loud like nine Wall Street bets. It's fucking absolutely hilarious. Yeah. So what were the questions?
I'll be watching it closely too. Yeah.
What were the questions, Felix?
I
What
think
were the
you
two
answered
questions
them.
that you were asked?
No, I just had a friend of mine said, a couple of friends of mine were asking, like, should I invest in GameStop? I think we answered that. And then the other question is it risky to do that? And I think we answered that question.
It is very risky. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, to clarify on the two types of investing you can do, it's incredibly hella risky if you set up a margin account and then try to like fucking bet the way these fucking people are doing it. Or
investing right now is this akin to gambling. You are gambling.
Yeah.
Prepare to lose whatever it is you put in. You know.
Correct. If you I guess the summary to should you do this is you should only put in money that you are also okay losing.
Right.
We are not giving out advice. This is not advice.
Correct.
It is not.
This is not advice.
No, man. No, I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude here on a webcam. You should only invest what you are okay with losing. And if that means buying a single share and maybe making a little bit of money, if it goes up to $1,000 a share, you just made $700. But if it goes down to $5 a share, you've just lost $295. And if you're okay with that, then yeah, you should probably do it. If you're not okay with that, then no, you should just follow Twitter and Reddit and enjoy everything that's going to happen to come, because this is for sure it is for sure a moment in history.
I'm being told have an exit strategy as well. I'm being told in my earpiece.
Yeah, you absolutely should. You should have a lot of stop loss orders.
People used to say to me all the time, Locke, people used to say to me all the time, they don't understand why, I'm okay spending money in strip clubs. I'm okay spending money in strip clubs because that's money that I don't believe is going to be there again. Like, I'm spending, it's not unlike going to a fucking carnival show and playing the games. I don't think I'm going to win. I'm playing for the fun of the thrill of playing the game.
Right.
And if you go into it with that mindset and you're not doing it to try and take your life savings and let it ride,
Right. Exactly.
It's when you go to the horse track, you don't expect to fucking win unless you're a real true degenerate gambler who's trying to play all the horses.
Right.
But
yeah. Yeah. So who knows where this will go.
I'm gonna have that ticker on all day tomorrow in my office. That's for sure.
I mean it's gonna fluctuate a lot. I think tomorrow. I think we're gonna see it peak higher than it's been, and I think it'll probably even out again.
I'm gonna hold. I'm holding. Don't let me sell. Don't let me do it.
The biggest thing with this is if people start selling, right? Like, we are literally only as strong if people start selling and selling massive amounts. The stock price will not continue to rise. So literally, we are all playing chicken with a freight train that's coming, and we have to all wait until the last possible second to dodge it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why you should only be spending the money that you are okay with lighting on fire. And if you are not okay with lighting it on fire, you should go invest in a mutual fund and make money over 10 years. It's
gonna happen fast. The second that starts to dip, like for real, like when people are really, really, really done with it, it's gonna just vaporize.
Correct. And it will happen so fast that
the sites will DDoS themselves.
Here's a little stock tip for you when you're selling shares. You never want to buy shares or sell shares at market price, because that gives the ability for your shares to be sold or purchased at essentially whatever price. Okay? When you put in limit orders, you're saying, I do not want to buy a share unless it's at this price, or I don't want to sell a share unless it's at this price. When you choose market, market is the type, right? If I go, I want to buy 10 shares at market price, and I put it in at 140, but it doesn't get fulfilled until it's 180, I'm buying the shares at 180 instead of at 140. And the same thing goes for selling. So to your point, Trip, if the stock price hits 1,000 and then 6 minutes later it starts tanking to $100, if I don't put in the right order type for when I'm selling, that means my order could be fulfilled at $100 and not $1,000. And that's why you should certainly have a strategy for this. Again, this is gambling, folks. This is not a financial podcast. This is
right.
Well, on that note, let's end it and do the wrap up, and we can chat more in the post show about it possibly.
Hell yeah.
But I know a lot of people are they're seeing dollar signs with their eyeballs right now.
They certainly are. So yeah, this is Lock and Key. Thank you for listening to me. I feel like I talk too much, but thank you for listening anyway. This you can find me on Twitter at @lock_key. That is really it, especially now because I don't have anything in this house set up. So follow me there. Catch you guys next week.
Cool. I am Trip Zero. You guys can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Trip0TV. I stream Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. We've been living in Stardew Valley, man, and we are continuing our challenge run for update 1.5 to finish the community center bundles remixed in year 1. And we're pretty much on pace for that because we're going to be hitting winter probably tomorrow and then into next week as well. So pretty fun. And then after that, we might get into some speed runs for the game. There's a lot of different speed run strategies.
Ooh.
And it's a lot of fun, man. I think I might just keep the train rolling. Been getting a lot of love in the stream too. So it's kind of the perfect little moment. It's my own little personal GameStop. So come by. Trip Zero TV.
Neo Aoshi. You can follow me at Neo_Aoshi on Twitter. Neo Aoshi on Twitch. I'll stream again soon. I'm hoping to play more Sekiro this weekend and Cyberpunk if I have time. But I'm desperately trying to beat my head against that Sekiro game. So we'll see if I can progress any more. I am not good at it. All right, Felix.
And this is Felix Hergood, at Felix Hergood on everything, including Twitch, but I haven't been streaming since June. So it's been like almost over a year. It's coming up to a year. And the one thing I since I haven't been streaming, I am going to put some work in. This is the first of 6 days off that I have. So over the next couple of days, I'll probably put up older episodes in our feed. I'm at 93. I'm going to put up 93 and go backward because our feed goes back to 94. If you want to listen to some of our older gems, you could check that out because they're going to be there soon. So some of them I'm quite drunk on. So that should be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week.